Welcome to part 3, which is the last part of One Scramble X Speedcubers series. We have a special guest this time and enjoy the video.
Okay, so for Rue, the scramble is not too bad. One thing that I would notice is this bar is already done. So all I need to do is build the square and then the last pair, as long as all the continuations are decent, and in this scramble it is. I wouldn't do this block in a solve, but I'm just going to show you how I would do this particular block, because it's good to know how to do these sorts of blocks for Rue. So the way to do the square is to just pair this edge with the center, and you can do this with U wide or R wide, and then just a U wide. And then the continuation is, after U wide, R wide, this edge will end up here, and then this corner will end up there, then move here. So for this, I can just do a R2 to move this corner there, and then do a UM2. And DR happens to be here, which is in a good position, because once I do a B prime to insert, we're going to have DR in a good position. So R2, UM2, B prime will solve that pair, and then we'll have DR at the top, which is insertable pretty much instantly, and then we can move on to the next parts. However, I would do this with blue-white, because a D move will move this edge over here, and having blue on the bottom, or your first block color rather on the bottom, is pretty good, especially because this corner will move here after the D move, which is good because I can just do an R prime, U prime, M2B to solve that. So all I need to do is just set up the other pair in a good way, and what I know is after R prime, U prime, M2B, this edge will end up here. So as long as I have the corner here, I'll just have an M2 away and then can do an F. So if I track DR, doing a D move will move this edge there, then R prime will take that out, and then U prime will move DR here, and then my first U prime will move the DR here, and then it will move DR there, which is good because I'm inserting in the front and I can influence. So what does that mean? I can do this to set up my first pair, and then we have here, and DR's there. So if I do M2, I have my pair there, and I can just do a U move to set up DR in a good position, and then F, and that's first block done. For second block, I see this corner, this edge, and this corner. I know this corner is part of my second block, and because this isn't matching that, I know this has to match with that. So I do an R wide prime, and then go ahead and solve that pair by doing R wide U, and then R wide prime or R prime. I'm not sure which one I would do in a solve. And then, but I do either one. Then for this pair, I just do U prime M prime, and then C fop insert. And then over here, my LR pieces are here and there, which is good as long as I can keep my my edge permutation going with the soon. Alternatively, I could do this, do EOLR and then soon, but I'd rather, most of the times in solves, I just go straight into the soon, and then we have a good arrow because EP was preserved. So all I need to do is U prime, and then we have LR here and here, so U prime M prime will do EOLR, and then U prime M2 will solve my EOLR B, and then we have this this 4C case. And the reason why I know is because this one doesn't match this, so these two don't match, so we'll have a bad one, which is M2, U2, M, U2, M. If you want to follow along with this solve, this 3-style solve, scramble Z2 away from your orientation. So my orientation is yellow-green. So if your orientation is white-green, you should be scrambling with yellow-green and then going to your orientation. Anyways, this scramble has 2 solved corners. This one is already solved, and that's my buffer. So unfortunately, if I don't float, I'll have to do 1 extra aug, but that's fine. And then edges is nice on the scramble. There are no cycle breaks, but there's 1 flip. So anyways, for corner tracing, I'd see that this is solved, so I'd float to UFL. UFL is my first floating target because it's better than UBR. So I'd go BUR into FDR, first, and then this goes to BDR and then BUL. And BUL over here has my buffer, so I can just I just know to twist this because I didn't hit the yellow sticker, but rather the green sticker. So I still have a twist remaining. And for edges, we have RDLB, then we have FDLU, then this goes to FRUB, and then RUDB, and then FLLD, and I didn't hit the yellow sticker but the green sticker instead, so I know there's a flip on the piece that I haven't hit, which is this one. So I will break into the flip in the end. So first for RDLB, I do R prime F, and then it's a 4 mover from there. There's also M prime U R prime, like as in M prime U and then 5 mover, which is not too bad. But I do prefer R prime F. And then next one is FDLU, which I just do D, and then R prime F R prime. And then from there, it's a 4 mover. After that, it's FRUB, which is just R prime U 4 mover. And then after that, it's RUDB, which I do D prime into pure. And then over here we have FL into LD, which also contains a flip, so I can break into the flip by first doing a comm that involves the flip, then hitting the other target, and then the yellow sticker, and the yellow sticker would always be the piece that I didn't memorize. So in this case, I have either the choice of FL to RB or BR, and I like FLBR more, so I'm going to do that comm. And then from there, I'm going to do RB into DL. So FL to BR is just RU prime, and then we have a 5 mover from here. And then after that, we have RB into DL, which is just U wide into a 5 mover. So that's edges done. And for corners, we have first from UFL, we have BUR into FDR, which I just do D prime R prime, and then we have a 8 mover from here. And then next is BDR into BUL. There are a few options for this. One comm you could do is like this, which is just a setup into an A perm in the front, which is just here to there, which is just R prime U prime. Which I messed up, but that's not the point. I don't use that comm. Another one that we could use is this, which is just a setup into an 8 mover by doing U prime F, and then we have here, here, and here, which I really like. So that's the comm I use for this case. It's just U prime F, and then that, and then we can cancel the U moves into doing this twist by basically doing a UFR twist and not having to do a U move at the end, like that. So that's the 3 style version.